I mean, are they even going to make it into my top 10? I just thought I would go live. Got a bit of time this afternoon, which is great, and I'm here. This is a place called Summer Lees, and when I was here last year, I made some videos here actually the same time last year. It was absolutely covered in, it was absolutely flooded out, and it was wonderful. It was a totally different kind of look. But hopefully I'll get right round after I finish this live stream right now. But let me know in the chat if you're hearing me loud and clear. Let's talk about these new scribes. Let's talk a little bit. I've got an update about the Bigme Hybrre Pro as well. And I must have had an absolutely banging signal. I've been walking around checking where can I stop and do this quick live stream for you guys on my Samsung phone. And I've struggled to find anywhere that's got anywhere near as good as the signal that I've got here on the Hybrre Pro Color. And okay, I know that's more of a network thing, but you know, there's good things there. Certainly got great color there. So let me know that you're hearing me loud and clear, hopefully coming through this mic rather than the phone as I move around, and that you can hear me just fine. The wind's almost knocking over my camera there, but that's okay. So let's talk about, what do you think? I just couldn't resist popping up and just finding out what you guys think about the Kindle Scribes that have been launched. Thank you so much. Yeah, great to hear you, great to see you all here. What do you guys all think about the Kindle Scribes that have been launched? I mean, my first thought was like, yeah, okay, but like bangingly expensive, like really expensive, isn't it? Like, what is it, 670 quid for the top storage version? I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And I just wondered, okay, I'm sure that at some point I will review these and add them into my comparisons, but I just don't know whether they're going to get anywhere near my top 10. And okay, this isn't me going through and deciding my top 10, but clearly I've been thinking a lot about the reMarkable move and thinking about where am I going to pop this in my top 10 list. And I'll tell you now where I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to go in 10th place, and hear me out on that one, because okay, the top 10 is pretty chocker with, okay, at the top I've got the Super Note Manta, then I've got the big ones from Boox, and then I've got all the other ones from Boox, the Go 10.3, which was a previous winner. I'll just go ahead and find my top 10 on here, and then after that I've got the Super Note, after that I've got the Super Note Nomad and the Viwoods, maybe not quite in that order. But you know, I've got so many things, I've got so many great things. And then right down, currently 10th place on my list, here's the list here, loading up on this guy. Here's the list, 10th place on the list before the reMarkable move came out was the Kindle Scribe. And previously, my only recommendation for the Kindle Scribe was that, okay, it's it's cheap. It's like the cheapest way to buy a 10.3. So what do you think about that? All of a sudden, it's no longer the cheapest way to buy a 10.3, and you've got a color option there, but the color option is almost as much as the reMarkable Pro color, which is bigger and is the gallery 3 screen. You know, I just don't know if those Kindle Scribes can find a place, even with all the additions to the software that they've talked about. Even if that runs brilliantly, I'm not sure whether those Kindle Scribes are going to find a place on my top 10 list. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let's go and have a little look through the chat. I imagine the writing feel is the same as the black and white Kindle Scribe, but I think it looks like the same pen, although it looks like they're going to release a white version as well. Software is bad, it's not Super Note level exactly. Note Air 3C does everything the Kindle Colorsoft does and more, from what I've read. Yes, it does indeed. So it's like difficult to recommend when, you know, even a previous generation of Boox device was blowing it out of the water. But you know, still, it's going to be good. If you just want a Kindle you can write on, still could be a great option. And interestingly enough, so my friend approached me and said, Kit, you reviewing e-readers and things like that, which one should I be looking at? What should I get? And he said to replace my, I think it was like a mid-teens kind of 2015-ish kind of Kindle Paperwhite. And he said, you know, yeah, I'm interested in something bigger, and I quite like the idea of writing on it, although I don't think I'd be, you know, using it all the time. I don't make lots of notes or anything like this, but I have a massive library of Kindle, so I want to be able to read my Kindle. And of course I thought about Boox, but you know, my very first thought was just like, it sounds like you just want a Kindle Scribe, you know. And I said, because why spend more? Like, if you just get the current Kindle Scribe and you can get it on a second-hand or a refurbished, you know, it's a great deal. So why spend more? Well, now the new Scribe's going to be absolutely crazy price. Skylar says the new Scribe seems to be more of a glass screen compared to the current Scribe model. Only read a little bit about it so far. Yeah, absolutely. We'll wait and see. We've just got a few texts. I don't think there's any videos out there actually featuring the device, like actually in people's hands. We've just got a few sort of text reviews so far. They've just got the news out really, and you know they're counting on people like us, I guess, to get excited and make sort of hype pieces. And you know, I wondered, I thought, should I make a proper sort of preview video, sat down going through the specs, and it didn't really get me that excited. It looks good. I think it's going to sell well. You know, the new design without the bezel on the side, it's going to be more of a sort of iPad looking like design, narrow bezels all around the edges. You know, that's going to appeal to people. It still seems to have the same sort of metalled back. They've gone for the popular choice, it seems, with having a version without a front light, with a front light, and then colour. And the colour will be banging, because if the colour is anything like the Kindle Colour Soft, the colour is going to be absolutely banging. That is the best rendition of colour. I personally think that's better than the Gallery 3 colour. You got to make your choice really, because Gallery 3 does great yellows, Gallery 3 does great greens, but the Kaleido 3, Gallery 3 does great yellows and reds. The Kaleido 3 does great blues and greens, and I've got the Kaleido 3 here. And if you want something that's going to go fast, then of course you're going to want a Kaleido 3 still at this point. Yeah, more hyped for a replacement to the Oasis. Yeah, don't disagree with that at all. Want a small note taker, and seems like, yeah, the Move is the best option, but the price is insane. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, okay, maybe the rest of the world is just struggling with the same issue as you guys are in the States, that the tariffs are making the market go a bit crazy. Now, I've talked a lot about, we really want somebody to affect e-ink's monopoly on the ePaper market. That'd be really useful, please. Somebody come and make them sort of a more standard ePaper screen. But we're not there yet. We're at the point where it seems they're getting only more expensive, these things. So what do you think? So do you think it should make the top 10? Do you think that actually I should be a bit more open-minded? Do you think these AI improvements to the software, things like sort of summarize the book up to this point, that might be quite good if you're coming back to a book that you haven't read for a while, or you just need a bit of a reminder? That could be cool. Jay says, yeah, bought the Boox 10.3 secondhand, no regrets. Yeah, absolutely. Great price I'm sure you got on that. Yeah, so of course the Gallery 3 is better for the reMarkable than the Kaleido. You know, yeah, Ruby, I agree. Like if it's not there to really help me sort of make something more quickly, if it's there to help me write, not that interested. If it's there to help me think, not that interested. The AI stuff, yeah, maybe that's a bubble that's bound to burst at some point soon. Yeah, thanks for that, Ruby. Thanks for being a member as well. Yeah, the Kaleido 3 always needs front light, and right now though I've got the front light off, I'm pretty sure, or I've got it on a little bit just by default. That's where it lives on my Hybrre Pro, but I could easily have it off. It's making no difference right now where I'm out and about on a nice bright day, and it looks great. You know, Gallery 3 is not necessarily the best, and I think you're going to have a better enjoyment of reading on the Scribe color, and I think you're going to have a better enjoyment of making notes on the reMarkable Paper Pro. The thing is, they're both like 600 quid-ish. Now, I've only seen prices in dollars. They're both over 600 quid, that sort of area. And for that same price, you could get like a big and a small Boox probably. You know, the price is just putting me off a little bit recommending it. To say, okay, maybe I should just say top device regardless of price. I don't know. Unless you're, Lone says, unless you're weighing like a comic book, reading really high. I have the new Kindle Scribe, and it's a good e-reader, but not a note taker in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. And the reMarkable Move, sure, they could actually bump themselves up the list if they had a really good e-reader option on there, but currently they don't. And Jay got his for 275 quid, got a Go 10.3. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it looks barely used. Wish you absolute joy of that, mate. You know, let us know how you get along. Yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? It's just like, they seem to just copy and paste a lot of people, don't they, from US dollars over to pounds. Apart from reMarkable, they give you a meaningful difference in pounds and dollars, which is always good. Lovely to see you all here, by the way. I hope you're having a good Wednesday afternoon or morning. Seems like a great update as far as Kindle has gone, but there's so many other devices that have it beat. Seems like more of, things keep going on this, investment to do multiple things, a good investment to do multiple things. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you, I think, and I still take this point, you know, my friend, he's borrowed my Kindle Scribe at this point, you know, he might end up just having it. I might sort of see, does he want to get a color soft Scribe and let me review it first or something like that, if he's interested in that, but we'll see. It doesn't really matter. I still think, you know, for him, that's probably the best option, because he just wanted access to his vast Kindle library on a newer device than what he had. And it's probably a good shout. So there we go. I think there's still people that it'll be a no-brainer for. You know, if you have been waiting for a large color Kindle, if you like the idea of the color soft but it's not big enough for you, you want with a pen as well, then I think just go with it, you know. But crazy price. So we'll see. What they will do though, not this time around, but on Prime days, I'm sure you'll get good discounts, and in a little while you'll be able to get them secondhand, and that's probably the sweet spot there, really. Ruby's talking about the Hybrre ePaper 7 ended up beating out a Bigme Pro phone because it has a pen. Yeah, this is one thing I was going to talk about as well. Of course, the Scribe has the EMR pen, and the Move has the capacitive pen, and the Hybrre you're talking about, the RLCD, would actually work great on a bright day like this. Has a capacitive pen, which actually isn't as good as the reMarkable pen as well. And I'm thinking to myself, and don't hold your breath, but I'm thinking to myself, actually, look at this sort of size. This is the Hybrre Pro. This is the reMarkable Move, and you can see both are going in and out of my jacket pocket. The reMarkable Move won't go in my trouser pocket, not comfortably, not for walking a long distance, you know, at all. It could go in just to allow me to use my hands briefly, but certainly isn't going to go in and out of the pockets easily. Something like this size, the phone size, with a little EMR pen would be absolutely wonderful. And yeah, well, Bigme or Boox could make an absolutely banging job of that. I wanted to just talk a little bit about this Bigme and the update that's just come to it. I'm just checking that I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. I do think, yeah, currently Kindle Scribe is going to be a good reader. If you're happy in the Kindle ecosystem, if you're the type of person that picks up their e-reader and just wants it to open again on the page they were on and carry on reading, then the Kindle's great. Kindle's absolutely great. But if you're the type of person that actually wants to write and make your notes and make involved notebooks, now somebody made a great comment, like, why is reMarkable not done a kind of overview, like you know, a table of contents mode on the reMarkable platform? I think that's crazy they haven't done that yet. Also, why have they not got a decent e-reader yet that allows you to read any kind of format and allows you to reflow it? I think these are sort of no-brainers that would bump reMarkable back up that list. And remember, my list currently goes something like this: Supernote, I reckon they're the best for most people, and then Boox, because they just do everything, all the different sizes of Boox devices. Then it goes Viwoods next, and then it goes reMarkable, because I think Viwoods have made, you know, those gains that allow it to be a more powerful platform than reMarkable. And if reMarkable, you know, start adding some of these features that they've kind of promised, and it's almost like they're a bit stubborn in not adding some of the things that people sort of demand. But you know, apparently people were demanding this size, and apparently people have demanded some of these features, and they have sort of eventually got around to adding them as well. So let's talk about the Hybrre Pro briefly. The Hybrre Pro has just had an update, and there's something I talked about on a live stream, which was that the security update wasn't working. It wasn't happening. It was telling me the security was out of date, but they said that in this new update that they've solved that, and they have. It was still a little bit of a journey, I'm not going to lie, to update it. Still a little bit like, yeah, go around it and update it. I had to update it twice. It sort of sat there trying to turn itself back on after the restart, and then I just had to turn it off completely and do the update again, and it worked second time. So it works first time, second time. That was what happened there. So at least that patch has been added, and we're on Android 14. Okay, so, you know, and Android 16 is currently out on, I think it's out on Pixel at the minute, and maybe a few other big companies. But so we're still on a older version, but that's kind of okay. Android 16, as long as the Google Play updates are up to date, then you're happy security wise, in my opinion. But it is that little bit further behind. But it's this fast refresh mode called Hyper, and this demonstration is not going to be great, but you can see here I'm in default. I'm using Otter app. It's my AI voice recorder, and if I go custom, I now get the option of refresh mode, extreme, and hyper. Now hyper, it does show considerably more ghosting, but also the auto clean still is working on it, and you are getting to the point where, yeah, it's not showing really. Sure, it's not going to come through at all, but you are seeing some ghosting on there as well. But the auto clean does work after a little pause, and then you also have access to the full refresh there as well. So once you do a full refresh, it looks just fine. And I think that hyper mode, I mean, it is really fast. They said 43 frames per second, which is crazy, right? To be able to make e-ink refresh like that. And it is, if you're looking to do scrolling on it, I mean, it's an absolute, you know, it's great. If you really want to watch videos on it, anybody watching this live stream on their Hybrre Pro color, can you flick it into hyper and tell everyone what you think? But you know, that's there. And e-ink, sorry, Bigme, what they do well is they do e-ink really well. They manage the e-ink screens really very well, and I'm impressed that they've managed to do that. So there we are. There's some good things there, and I think that somebody mentioned, I'll just go back into the chat in a second, somebody mentioned other e-ink phones out there. You know, this is still a really good phone. Okay, it's not a top spec phone, don't get me wrong, but it's still got all the basics of being a phone, right? It's got a decent processor in there. It's got some of those features that you just kind of expect now for a phone. It's got the dual blasters, it's got the NFC, you know, it's got front and back cameras, it's got lots of the sort of basic phone stuff. And I think partly because they haven't tinkered too much, they've given you a normal phone home screen, they've just sort of added their e-ink skin on top, and their e-ink center is good. They make the e-ink look good, and that therefore is worth recommending because it is usable as a phone. And as I say, I came out today and I thought, the way I've compiled these notes was just to talk to myself in the car on the way to work this morning, and I talked to Otter on the phone, and then it compiles and transcribes those, and then I've been able to sort of like tidy that up using a quick bit of AI to tidy the transcript into talking points. And now here they are on my phone, and I'm getting around the phone really nicely and enjoying it. So I'll go back to the Kindle Scribe releases in a second. Yeah, I think that if you want a simple phone experience, if you're looking for a minimal phone experience, if you're wanting to replace a full smartphone, then I think this is currently your best option, really. And yeah, you can do things like put it as a second device on your WhatsApp or whichever messenger you're using. I have a second SIM card in here because I still use, you know, I'm on mobile here on my Samsung using its cameras to do the live stream. I did think about actually trying to live stream off this, but then I couldn't see your comments on the screen as well at the same time. I suppose I could with the front camera, couldn't I? So cool. So let's have a little chat. Yeah, so Ruby says the pen drives are nuts, I guess, on the remove. Have a replacement for that. Oh, it's using that little one there rather than the main camera anyway. Well, that's a nuisance, isn't it? Doesn't matter though. Let's change that to that. There we are. That's using the main camera now. So the entire reason that I use my Fold is for the main camera. So now it's working with the main camera, and hopefully it looks a bit better. Let me know, did you notice the difference there? Was that even worth me bothering to change from the little front selfie camera there? Right, what else have we got? Hybrre Pro's out for delivery. Karina, I wish you enjoy it. Enjoy it. Hybrre Pro Color, is that you've got there? If I had to add a Paperlike screen protector to a Samsung tablet, how much closer on a scale to 1 to 10 is it? Something like the Manta, like 3 out of 10. I think, yeah, the Manta just like, I mean, there's some decent enough ones. Yeah, like I've tried some things. I quite like the kind of velvety, silky ones that you can get for Samsung S Pen enabled devices. But no, I don't think. And you're also adding another layer then. Whereas, you know, the way that they've layered up an e-ink display, a good one like the Manta, is that it just is still really close to the surface. I mean, often looks, kind of tricks, if you're a user of a Manta, how often are you like almost tricked that it appears to be, there's some wildlife there, just a bit startled there. I think that must have been a fish jumping out or something. Who knows? They're having a lovely afternoon walk before I go back to work for an open evening this evening, so that's what I'm up to. Where was I? Yeah, the screen feel. So it actually tricks you, almost like it looks like there's ink on the surface sometimes. The e-ink is so close to that surface that you just think, oh, it's so brilliant. Cool, let's have a little look through. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a replacement. A Paperlite screen protector is like, it does a job, but I wouldn't say it's a replacement for a true e-ink sort of experience. Late to the stream, buy new Kindle, do you mean the one with the colour ink? Yeah, I mean all of them. I'm like, you know, can any of them really get close to what's already in that top 10? So the next up from it is the reMarkable Paper Pro. Is the Kindle Scribe going to be better than the reMarkable Paper Pro? Is the Kindle Scribe up from that? Can I recommend that over a Super Note Nomad? You know, it's a different device, it's a bigger device, obviously, but the Super Note Nomad is brilliant, isn't it? There's just so many great e-ink tablets. Remember when I started doing a kind of top 10, it was really difficult to find 10 to put in it, and now there's so many great ones. And then, of course, there's the new one from Montblanc as well, like whether that's worth considering in this top 10. Whether I get to review that at any point, I don't know. Has the minimal phone had any updates? No meaningful ones that I could see. Yeah, I'm glad I kind of backed it, because I'm interested that they did that, and I'm interested, but they have no experience with the key component that makes it something special, which is not the keyboard. The thing that makes the minimal phone special, in my opinion, is the e-ink screen, and the e-ink screen is bad, and it's controlled badly. Whereas you look at someone like Bigme or Boox, and they are so good at managing the e-ink screen. You know, they just, I mean, this scrolling capability here, like on this, we go to a website, the scrolling now on this really super high refresh rate is like insane, and like doing it on their, you know, it's not going to happen. If you've tried to use that, I mean, the disco mode aside, it's never going to look anything like this. Let's get a bit meta, I suppose, and I'll call up this live stream. There it is. The thumbnail's not good, is it? And put it into the hyper mode as well. So if I go for video, does it automatically go? No, it's still on extreme for video. If I now go custom and go hyper, and see what that really looks like for me there. Full screen. Doesn't want to rotate into vertical though, the high brake, for some reason. That's very odd. And it isn't, you know, the screen is orientated vertically, I think. So it doesn't want to go into vertical full screen for some reason. But it's vertical there, so okay, that's weird. But there we are, it is what it is. And yeah, I can tell you that's not great color reproduction. It is though fast, and it isn't an entire mess of ghosting the entire time. So they can do that, whereas the minimal phone, they just weren't getting close to actually managing that e-ink screen. You know, obviously it's not color. They weren't getting close to managing that e-ink screen for just simple apps. You know, they just sort of stuck stock Android on it and hoped that it kind of worked, and it didn't. Cool though. Where are we up to? Gonna just carry on my walk shortly. How are games on the high brake? I mean, I played a bit of chess on it recently. I really enjoyed that. Son is playing Harry Potter with a little 4GB RAM phone. I'm wondering if I can join him on my new high brake. Yeah, I'm sure you could. Yeah. It should outperform that one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't played Harry Potter on a phone ever. I haven't played Harry Potter at all, but there we are. Haven't watched videos on the e-ink screen. I figured it wouldn't be very smooth. Yeah, but actually smoothness is okay now. It's just the actual details that are going to struggle. Yeah, go back to the beginning if you're interested in the color e-ink chat. Yeah, I just don't know whether I can put it on my top 10 really, but we'll see. I will review things with an open mind, as I always do. There's an amazing PET screen protector that gives a matte screen for Samsung phones. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are some really nice screen protectors out there, but they don't do it. They don't do quite as well as the SuperNet Manta was. Good to watch. Good for you to be here live. Thank you so much. How are the Google Maps details on the Hybrre Pro color? Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, actually, they're fine. And actually, I still haven't actually plugged this in, I'll be honest with you, to my car. They had all the issues with the scaling. I'm just kind of imagining. Ah, it's frozen. So there we go. That is why we do live streams, isn't it? I haven't seen it freeze before, but it's on its like, what do you call that? The recents panel, and it's frozen, so I'm gonna have to hold it down. And I have been dotting around on it, but there we are. It's clearly not going to be the highest performing phone in the world. I'll just have a look at Google Maps in a second. Don't see anything toppling the Manta for what it does. Yeah, it doesn't try to be anything more than a digital notebook and does it brilliantly. Absolutely. Unrelated question, do you have thoughts on Boox Go 7 Gen 2? I understand if that's a question for another day. No, I think it's really good. It's a really, really good thing. I mean, for for what it is, a 7-inch e-reader with colour, with a stylus attached, is pretty good. I mean, the stylus isn't great. We'll see how that whole stylus story develops as we go forward, whether we get e-ink stylus, EMR styluses back on e-ink, or we have to put up with capacitive forever. I don't know. Seems that way. Seems like they're kind of, most companies seem to be defaulting to that now. We'll see. I wondered this morning, I was thinking, do books stick their note line, stick to EMR, and then go capacitive for the other ones? It's one way to differentiate. You asked about maps, so let's go ahead and have a look at that. Get Google Maps up. I have used it quite a bit on here. There we are. Looks all right to me. That's where I am, by those lakes. I can go, I don't know if you're a user of like satellite view. What e-ink mode am I in? I'm in the default, which is fast on this. I must say that is fast enough. Now, bear in mind I've got no front light on. It looks really good, to be honest. I can definitely make that out. The question is that easier to make out on a bright day than an OLED screen? And the answer is probably yes. So there we are. Yeah, maps looks good. Pretty interesting for maps, yeah. Shakiti Kapoor, an actor from India. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'm trying my best. And my concern with the inks is that I love smooth workflow, and I feel like the ghosting will over time just put me off the whole thing. The constant refresh on Kindle is the reason I don't do e-reader. Yeah, interesting, but can you read on ordinary LCDs? I'm going to be talking about this. I put some polls out there, and most people I think are the same as me, really. They're e-ink for reading and writing, and they're OLED or LCD for all the other computing. And I struggle with computing after long sessions on LCD and OLED, and that's seems to be the majority of people. So it's, what do you need it for, really? I also struggle if I'm wearing contact lenses, as I am today. Looking at a emissive screen for long periods of time, my eyes will get tired, but my eyes will get tired after a long day wearing contact lenses anyway. I struggle more when I'm wearing contact lenses, less when I'm wearing glasses. And I only really struggle with emissive screens like LCD and OLED after long sessions. It's not the incidental viewing. It's not like I can't use it. But e-ink just fills in all the gaps for me. E-ink just means that I can do some things, giving my eyes a rest, and therefore after a long day, I can get to the end of the day and I haven't got those eyes just bleary and blown out and feeling really bad. Yeah, I was trying to get the comments up, so I hope that helps. It's just, only use it if you kind of need to. Donovan, thank you so much for joining. Awesome to welcome you to the membership. This is the Bigme Hybrre Pro color. So don't mistake it with the Hybrre color, the previous one, because the screen isn't as good as this. This is the Hybrre Pro color. Definitely look for this one at the minute. It's really good. It is really good. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bigme, Bigme are, you know, they've sold out because they're really good. These phones, it's really weird to me that Bigme, you know, they can't seem to always get everything right, but the one thing they have got right is the Hybrre Pro, the black and white one and the color one. So noticing a little bit of rain around, so we'll leave it in a minute. Can't do read on any screen, it has to be paper. And if e-readers Neeks didn't have that ghosting refresh, that'd be optimal, but paper is supreme, yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks so much everyone for being here today. Hope you have a good rest of your day or evening or wherever you're up to. Yeah, I think Skylar's right as well. The interesting thing is about Bigme and Boox is that they have these great e-ink centres. If you care to dive into them and you want to do more on e-ink, then you do have to get used to doing that customization. And if you do the customization, you can generally make any kind of app look good on it, apart from sort of the laggy handwriting input on third-party apps. But yeah, you can generally make any kind of app look good, and you just have to be willing to understand you're buying an e-ink thing. My pleasure. Thanks very much for being here, everybody. Just getting ready to buy the reMarkable Pro this week. I'm glad because I'm getting the Kindle Scribe. I read a lot about it. I'm happy it's launching in colour. Yeah, it's going to be good, but it's going to be expensive. And my question is, yeah, whether it's going to be, whether it has a spot on my top 10. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much if you're watching on the replay. Thanks for hanging out as well, and thanks for hanging out live. Isn't it fun? I love doing these little incidental live things. I'm going to carry on walking. See you later. Find the how to end stream button. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Ah, the big cross at the top. See you.